All right, so you saw traders making $10,000 a day, $50,000 a day, even $100,000 a day as a day trader. And originally, that's probably exactly why you got into trading in the first place, so that you can achieve the same results, right? But this just isn't working for you. And ever since you started trading, everything's been going wrong. You catch yourself taking the wrong positions. You catch yourself putting too much money into a position. You catch yourself blowing accounts and making stupid decisions left and right. But honestly, you don't even know what's really going on, do you? I bet that most times you just go into a zone up here and then all of a sudden you've blown up, right? Well, there's a fix to this, and you can't just continue doing the exact same things every single time you show up to the charts and expect a different result. And if you make it all the way through this entire video, you will change your trading forever. So grab a notebook. To stop failing as a trader, you need to live by this sentence: aim for mastery, not money. This is one of the most key things that you need to understand as a trader. You should not be aiming for a certain amount of money every single day. In fact, you shouldn't be aiming to make money at all. Your goal as a trader is to be the absolute best trader that you can be no matter what. I've been trading for a little over 4.5 years now, and this sentence has absolutely changed my life and how I see trading overall. Because when I first started trading, my first thoughts were to try and make as much money as humanly possible so that I can get the yachts, I can get the Lambos, I can get the watches, right? I wanted to do everything in terms of making money because all I wanted to do was jump and be like all the people that I see on social media. But as I progressed, one main thing that I noticed was that I continued to fail over and over and over again every time I tried to size up and every time I tried to prove that I can make that kind of money. Instead, what I learned is to focus on mastery of the skill. You need to focus on mastery of understanding how to trade and understanding yourself as a trader before you ever start to trade with actual money and actual risk. And so that means that you need to show up to the charts every day with the same goal in mind. How can I be 1% better as a trader than I was yesterday? Forget the profit goals, forget the weekly or daily goals, forget all of the things that you've heard before from other mentors and other coaches. None of that matters. Aiming for mastery comes down to understanding a few key things, and if you're able to get these things down, you will never be unprofitable again. I created a system to take failing traders from being completely unprofitable to literally making over $1,000 per day. And this has been done with hundreds of one-on-one students with tons of case studies and testimonials. So if you follow these things, you will guaranteed become a successful trader, and I can guarantee it. This is called the RAT system. These three things are designed to stop you from revenge trading, over trading, and blowing your accounts. So if you can master this system that I'm about to teach you, you will 100% become a successful trader. Like I said, guaranteed. Risk is the most important word in the trading world, and one thing that results in you failing over and over again consistently is your poor risk management skills. Think about every time you've ever blown up. 95% of the time, you put in more money into that trade than you could afford to lose. The reason why this happens is that every time you decide to take a trade with more money than you're willing to lose, the anxiety that you have spikes up when you're in that trade. So any trade you take where you're oversized massively, you will feel this pressure in your chest or feel this pressure in your brain telling you, you need to sell, you need to get out, you need to add more, you need to hold, you need to keep selling, you need to do all these things that you probably shouldn't be doing because you're oversized in that position. At the end of the day, emotions are the reason why you are losing and the reason why you are failing as a trader right now. What's the best way to cut down on those emotions? Cutting down on your risk. Now, let me give you an exact framework that will completely stop you from making this mistake overall. For every single trade you take, I want you to only be risking 2% of your account per trade. And remember, risk is not the same thing as the amount of money that you use in a trade. Risk is the amount of money that you're willing to lose on that trade. So setting your risk at 2% allows you to keep yourself in the game longer. Every single trade you take, I want you to only risk 2%. For example, let's say you have a $50,000 account. You should only be risking $1,000 or less on every single trade that you take. And even if you're trading on a $3,000 account, you should only be risking $60 on every trade that you take. This means that in either scenario, you can lose over 45 trades in a row and still have an account. You will never blow yourself up. And the odds of you having 50 losing trades in a row is insanely low, especially if you do the things that I'm about to teach you in the next couple steps. And let's just say you have a really bad problem with putting too much money into a trade. Only take trades with 2% of your account. Let's go back to the $50,000 example. If you're trading with only $1,000 per position, you are able to take that position all the way to negative 100% and still end up risking only 2% of your account on that trade. So if you just have really bad trading habits, scale yourself down in size. Now, once you have your risk down, the next thing that you need to do is analyze your patterns. You need to start figuring out what's going on in your trading over time. What are the main things that you see are consistent, and how can you continue doing those things to become profitable and stay profitable? So I want you to focus on these 3 things, and I want you to write these things down right now. If you can't even get a notebook or a Google Doc to write this down right now, how can you ever expect to be successful? All right, so I want you to write these 3 things down. How many trades does it take for me to start making stupid decisions? How long can I stay on the charts before I start making stupid decisions? And what is my worst day of the week statistically? These questions will allow you to focus on patterns that tend to screw you over in your trading. For me personally, I only take 3 trades per day. I trade for about an hour and a half every single day, and I 1000% avoid Fridays. The reason why is consistently, more often than not, I find myself making the worst decisions possible when I go outside of this window. So I've limited myself back to understand what things are going to allow me to go forward and what things typically mess me up. So what you need to do is go into your trading, figure out all of those things that I just mentioned to you, and once you have that down, you can start to create a plan that will allow you to step back from the markets and stop doing stupid shit that forces you to make bad decisions. I'm not sure you're aware of this, but making the right decisions is the right way to grow. However, making those same decisions and tracking them is the way to grow exponentially. Start using a trading journal so that you can start tracking every single trade you take from start to finish. Every trade you take needs to be tracked. This will allow you to find those patterns that I mentioned in step 2, and it'll allow you to figure out if you are actually consistently sticking to your plan. This is the way to progress faster than everyone around you, and here's the software that's going to help you do that. This trading journal is called TradeZilla. I'm not sponsored, but I want to be. Now, here's what you need to start doing. You need to start figuring out what your net profit factor is, what your trade win rate is, your trade expectancy, your day win percentage, what days are the worst days for you, how many trades are you taking per day? These are all things that are super important for you to know. If you don't know any of these things, how do you expect to succeed? Find out how much money you're making on average versus how much money you're losing. All of these things are going to be super important. And if you're using a really good trading journal, it'll break down all these numbers for you. Look at all of my trading days here. I only have 3 real red days of the month, and none of the days in this entire month have I traded more than 3 times. Once you find those patterns, you can find out exactly what helps to keep you consistently profitable over time. And that's how I made $5,000 this month. What strategy is your most successful? What do you do that performs best? These are all questions that are answered by going in and successfully tracking. But you can't just stop there. There's one more thing that you need to actually learn how to track, and that's going to be your emotions. Go into an actual notebook at the end of every single trade and track the way that you feel during that trade. This will start to make you realize whether or not you're sizing too heavy, whether or not you put on too much risk, whether or not you're trading the wrong strategy. All of these things need to be written down every single trade you take. And if you can do that, this is the fastest way to grow exponentially and literally grow faster than everyone around you. After watching this entire video and implementing all the things that I said, you should have a framework that will help you become a successful trader and stop failing. But you still might need help with developing a successful strategy. So you might need to watch this video that's popping up on the screen right now. Later. Subscribe.